bell ringer. The question was, if you'd eat an apple and go for a jog, what kind of energy transformation occurs? Okay, so first of all, an apple has chemical potential energy, and then you go for a jog. And if you go for a jog, your feet are moving, you're running down the road, that is kinetic mechanical energy. Okay, so food or the apple has chemical potential energy. You go for a jog, that is mechanical kinetic energy. You could also say that it is thermal energy, because when you go for a jog, you probably all know that you get hot, okay, or you get warm. Okay, so let's take a look at today's notes. See my screen, right? All right, so today we're looking at energy transformations, and then you're going to do an activity where you identify different types of energy transformations. That's where you'll need these notes. All right, so I'll tell you this. Last period, they refused to talk to me. They're extremely quiet. Let's see if y'all are any different today. All right, so first one, we're going to go through just some very basic types of energy. So what we're looking at today is called the law of conservation of energy. The law of conservation of energy states that energy cannot be created or destroyed. It is just transformed from one form to another. Okay? And that's what we're looking at today. We're looking at those energy transformations. So as energy travels through the environment, it is not created or destroyed. It just changes from one form to another or is transformed. Okay, so the first one, a battery. This would be your notes. I would write down the word battery. J. I would write down the word battery, and which, by the way, I would title this Energy Transformations. Okay, so Energy Transformations would be the title of the notes. All right, so first one, what type of energy does a battery have? Anybody like to try that out? Who can tell me what type of energy a battery has?
Potential energy.
Okay, very good. It is potential energy. So Maxine, can you tell me what type of potential energy? Can anybody tell me what type of potential energy it is? It is chemical. Oops, where is my pointer? Right here. It is chemical potential energy. Okay? Batteries have acid in them, which is a chemical. So that actually reacts with the metal when you connect the two ends. So a battery is chemical potential energy. Next one is food. Jay, what type of energy do you think food is?
Potential energy.
Okay, it is potential energy. So Aveen, what type of potential energy? We did it in the warm-up. Anybody tell me what type of potential energy it is? Caitlin, what do you think? Come on, guys, I'm feeling lonely up here. Somebody talk to me.
I think it's kinetic.
No, it is potential. But the question is, what type of potential? It is chemical. Again, so any type of food is chemical energy. And because many of y'all are not answering, I'm assuming you don't know it, please take notes. You will need this. Right, Jay? You taking notes? So what I would write here, I'd write that food is potential chemical energy. All right? Let me ask y'all this. Is grass food? What do you think, Gabriel? Is grass food? You there, Gabriel? Is grass food?
No, only the cows.
Very good. Yes, it is food to cows. Okay. So yes, grass would be chemical potential energy because it is food. If you're a cow, that's your food. Are trees food? Yes. If you're a giraffe, that's your food. Okay. Are you food? Yes. You have millions of bacteria that live on your body and eat. Dead skin and your intestinal walls, all types of things. Your body is covered in bacteria. You are food. You are chemical energy. So anything that can be considered food is chemical potential energy. All right, what about heat? Aileen, what do you think? Heat. Do you think it's potential energy or kinetic energy? So let me ask you this, Jaylene, is heat moving?
No.
And the answer is yes, heat is moving. The definition of heat is the movement of molecules. And we'll learn that next week. Seems like. So, yes, heat is moving. It is actually known as the kinetic theory of matter, that all molecules are moving. So, heat is kinetic energy. What type of kinetic energy? Thermal kinetic energy. I'm doing pretty good at this. I think I'm going to make 100. What do y'all think?
90-ish.
90-ish? Nah. All right, so
101.
the next one is light. What type of energy is light, Penelope? Kinetic or...
Energy.
I'm sorry?
Potential energy.
No. Actually, light, there is no such thing as light that does not move. Light is the movement of energy, so it is potential energy. Does anybody remember the name for light? Caitlin? Aiden? Anybody out there? Help me out, please.
Electrical.
No. Yes, Gabriel.
Is it radiant?
Very good. Radiant. Radiant energy. Oh, and I wrote PE. No, that's wrong. KE. Okay, so light is kinetic energy. What type? It is radiant energy. Okay, the next one. A slingshot, a rubber band, a spring. Would all be what type of energy? Natalie, do you think that's potential energy or kinetic energy? That coyote holding that slingshot.
Potential?
Very good. It is potential energy because it's not moving. It has the potential to do work. Like most of y'all, a lot of y'all have potential to do work. Getting you to do it's another story. A lot of times it just takes a phone call to mom, and all of a sudden mom gets some kinetic energy in you. All right, does anybody remember what type of energy this is?
Elastic.
Very good, elastic. So a slingshot, a rubber band, a spring, those are all different types of elastic potential energy. When he lets go of it and it actually shoots, it becomes kinetic, mechanical energy because it's moving. Okay, a can of gas. Yes, Gabriel.
Potential and thermal, I believe.
Okay, well, when you burn it, it does become thermal. We're going to cover that in a little bit. But before you burn it, what type of energy is it?
Chemical.
Very good. Chemical. It is chemical potential energy. Okay? All right. You know those solar panels that people put on the roofs? I'll tell you this, they are a complete waste of time. if the government did not sponsor, did not subsidize them to the tunes of billions of dollars a year, they would be worthless. Nobody would put them on the roof. The only reason people do that is because they're subsidized. But with that being said, if y'all want to get me a Christmas present, y'all get me one of these. This is actually not solar panels. This is, I guess you call it a solar collector. These are mirrors. So this giant thing here is a giant wall of mirrors. And if you've ever burned an ant with a magnifying glass, it does quite the same thing. What it does is it focuses the sunlight using mirrors onto a tiny little spot right out here. And there's actually salt in there, and it begins to melt the salt, and that salt boils water. That boiling water turns a turbine, and that turbine makes electricity. This is actually very efficient at making electricity. You can see that little guy standing right there. So you can see how big that device is. So if y'all want to buy me a Christmas present, this is what I want. I'll put it right on top of my roof. Anyways, with that being said, what type of energy is the sun? It is, and I would write this down, radiant energy. Okay. Heat is thermal energy. Then we have, from there, it turns a turbine, which is mechanical energy. And then that turbine turns a generator. A generator produces electrical energy. Okay? And this thing's actually very good at producing electricity, unlike the solar panels that are on people's roofs. Okay, so give y'all a second to get caught up.
I'm not finished yet.
All right, so the next one is a wind turbine. The way wind is made is that the sun unevenly heats the earth. And that uneven heating of the earth causes the wind to blow. There's actually an animation here that shows you how a wind turbine works. I will save that for you to watch on your own because we don't have time right now, but it's actually pretty interesting. If you ever have something to do tonight other than watch SpongeBob, you could come and look at these two websites. It basically describes the science behind a energy wind turbine. But with that said, if I was to trace the energy transformation that occurs, I would say that the radiant energy from the sun heats the earth, which is thermal energy. That thermal energy causes the wind to blow, which is mechanical energy. That wind turns a turbine, which is mechanical energy. The turbine turns the generator, which makes electrical energy. Okay? Again, the law of conservation of energy says that you cannot create or destroy energy. All you do is transform it. In this case, you're transforming it from sunlight, which is radiant, to wind, which is mechanical, to the generator turning, which is electrical. All right, the next one here, we have gas. And if you don't know how your car runs, what happens is you put gas in it, and your car actually burns that gas. Your car has what's called an internal combustion engine, or a heat engine. It actually runs off the heat. So, gas is chemical energy. It is transformed into heat, which is thermal energy. Your car drives down the racetrack, which is mechanical energy. Okay, we're going to skip a couple, come down to here. Here we have sunlight heats the earth. The heat on the earth causes water to evaporate into clouds. And here we have the clouds. So let's start off at the beginning. First, we start off with sunlight. Sunlight is radiant energy. Okay, and then that radiant energy warms the ocean, which is thermal energy. That thermal energy causes water to evaporate up into clouds. And let me ask you all this. Do clouds have weight? Olivia, do clouds have weight? Or I should say this, do clouds have mass? Are you there, Olivia? What do you think? Is Josiah there? Josiah, do clouds have mass? You know what I hear? That's crickets. I hear crickets. What do you think, Jay? Do clouds have mass? Yes, very good. Clouds have a lot of mass. Why? They contain water, and water is actually very massive. So, if I have water high up in the air, what type of energy is that, Jay? If I have water up in the air, what type of energy is that? I have water up in the air. What type of energy do I have? Potential. So, if this was some water, and I have it up in the air, what type of energy is that? Jaylene, what do you think? This is a roller coaster up in the air. What would it have? What type of potential? What's going to pull it down? Gravity. Yes, gravitational potential energy. So yes, gravitational potential energy. Okay? All right. So sunlight causes water to evaporate. That evaporated water has mass, which gives it gravitational potential energy. We could say when it falls back down to Earth, that is converted to kinetic energy. All right, last one. This is actually off of a benchmark. I have water behind a dam. We just said water was very massive. So who can tell me what type of energy water has behind a dam? Josiah, what do you think? Conrad, what do you think? Water behind a dam has what type of energy? Aiden, what do y'all think? What do you think, Aiden?
Potential.
Okay, what type of potential? It's heavy, it has a lot of mass. When I open the floodgates, the water is going to go rushing out the dam. Why? What's going to make water run downhill?
Gravity.
Gravity, yes. Gravitational potential energy. Okay, so that dam holds water back, which has gravitational potential energy. It flows down the hill, which gives it kinetic energy. It spins a generator, which makes electrical energy. This is actually one of the cheapest ways to make electricity. The only problem with this is we are already out of space in America to build more dams. Most of the rivers that are really good, you have to have a lot of elevation. In other words, a lot of drop. A lot of rivers that have that topography already have dams on them, or we don't want to destroy an ecosystem. All right, so here's what you're going to do. You're going to go to Schoology, and you're all supposed to say, "Yay, Schoology."
Yay.
All right, enthusiasm. And you go to Thursday, and you go to energy transformation. This right here. Y'all have fun. Use your notes because I know y'all all taking notes. Just to let you know, I'm in the process today of updating my grade book, and I have so many students, I can't even count how many students, who have done almost nothing in the last 2 weeks. If you're one of those students, I have to call your parents tomorrow and let them know that you've done nothing in the last 2 weeks. All right, so if you're one of those students, I would do your work now, as in today and tonight, before I call your mom, because when I call your mom, she's not going to be too happy with you. It might just ruin your Halloween, okay? And if you can't go trick-or-treating, you can't go out and get me chocolate and peanut butter. And that's what I expect on Monday. All right? So with that being said, go do your work. If you have any questions, let me know. Use your notes. Make sure you turn it in before you leave.